Good morning to all. So now I will be discussing automation in urinalysis. New technological advances have paved the way for significant progress in automated urinalysis. Quantitative reading of urinary test strips using reflectometry has become possible, while complementary metal oxide semiconductor or CMOS technology has enhanced the analytical sensitivity and has shown promise in microalbuminuria testing. Microscopy-based urine particle analysis has greatly progressed over the past decades, enabling high throughput in clinical laboratories. Urinary flow cytometry is an alternative for automated microscopy, and more thorough analysis of flow cytometric data has enabled rapid differentiation of urinary microorganisms. Integration of dilution parameters in the urine test strip readers and urine particle flow cytometers enables correction for urinary dilution, which improves result interpretation. Automation and workflow simplification have led to mechanical integration of test strip readers and particle analysis in urinalysis. In this lecture, I will present to you the main recent developments in automated urinalysis and future perspective. The objective is to introduce the principles and methods behind automated urinalysis, providing a technical discussion on the workings of a urinalysis machine. Learning outcomes. At the end of the session, you will be able to describe the inclusions of automated urinalysis and its advantages, discuss the principles of reflectometry, turbidimetry, nephelometry, and flow cytometry in the context of automated urinalysis, and get a glimpse of particle digital imaging and other advancements in urine analysis automation. Urinalysis is a valuable tool used to diagnose and monitor renal and urinary tract illnesses. Typically, it is a moderate to high sample volume test for a general chem laboratory, representing up to 30% of all samples received. There are three aspects of urinalysis: macroscopic, chemical, and microscopic. In a traditional urinalysis, we aliquot at least 10 ml sample, do gross observation by checking the color, turbidity, or transparency, the urine-specific gravity, then dip one stick into well-mixed and centrifuge urine sample. Then we check one by one the test strip parameters and manually writing all results in our request form. After which, we centrifuge the urine sample and the resulting pellet is resuspended in 250 microliters of urine. Approximately 1 drop is analyzed on a slide under a microscope and observe the elements. They are quantified as the number per high power or for low power field. Manual microscopy can take up to 6 minutes per sample before releasing the results. There are 3 ways to perform a test strip analysis. One is manual. The test is done by hand. Second, the semi-automated. The test strip is dipped in the urine manually and then analyzed by an instrument. And third, the fully automated, wherein the test strip is completely analyzed by an instrument. So why automate your urinalysis? There are a lot of error sources. During centrifugation, wrong speed, wrong duration. Decanting, it's manual decanting, and error of residual volume. Resuspension, no adequate resuspension. Too vigorous agitation. While doing slide preparation, volume of sediment examined, air bubbles, particles still flowing, uneven distribution of cells. And while doing the microscopy, observer recognition error, subjective element identification, number of fields observed, masking of cells by other particles, time-consuming or labor-intensive. So it lacks standardization. So why automate your urinalysis? Our ultimate goal of automation is to improve reproducibility and color discrimination, increasing productivity, and standardization for reporting urinalysis results. Automation promotes standardization. So several automated instruments are currently available to standardize the sample processing, the biochemical test strips analysis, the microscopy analysis, and the report results. With urinalysis automation, you have an online computer capability, barcoding, manual entry of color, clarity, microscopic results, logging of abnormal results, sorting of patients and control results, minimal calibration, cleaning, and maintenance. Advantages of automation: high throughput, minimal manual handling, user-friendly, long walk-away time, no carryover, high-resolution image, capable of auto-validation, and helps detect early kidney disease. It offers the benefits of convenience, efficiency, and increased sensitivity for detecting renal and urinary tract abnormalities. The true value may lie in the ability to efficiently screen and report out urine samples that lack pathologic findings. And automated urine analyzers aids in precise and accurate urine results, reduce turnaround time, and workload of a laboratory. The results also guide the clinical towards a probable diagnosis, and empirical treatment could be initiated at the earliest. And automated urinalysis can be used for urinary tract screening and for diagnosing and monitoring a broad variety of nephrological and urological conditions. And newer applications show promising results for early detection of urothelial cancer. Nephelometry, turbidimetry, reflectance photometry. These are the techniques to measure the scattered light. With nephelometry, the intensity of light scattered by a suspension is measured at 90 degrees angle. With turbidimetry, the measurement of decrease in light transmitted to a turbid solution is measured. Reflectance photometry, the beam to light is directed at a flat reaction surface and the reflected light is quantified. What now is the new era in urinalysis? There are three components of a urinalysis solution. First is the fully automated urine chemistry analyzer that takes test strip analysis. Second, the urine flow cytometer that is based on a globally renowned fluorescence flow cytometry sediment analyzer. And third is the digital imaging unit for samples that need further investigation by particle analysis. So we discussed the fully automated urine chem analyzer. So this uses reflective photometry with a color complementary metal oxide semiconductor or CMOS sensor as well as refractometry. The CMOS improves the light path, because of which cloudiness and specific gravity become less affected by turbidity. And the refractometry measurement method offers accurate results in terms of specific gravity and cloudiness. Physical examination of urine includes the description of your color, clarity, specific gravity, including the test strips. Chemical examination of urine includes the identification of urobilinogen, blood, protein, glucose, ketone, bilirubin, nitrite, leukocyte, pH, creatinine, albumin. And other analyzers can auto-calculate the protein-creatinine ratio and the albumin-creatinine ratio. Now, other platform has vitamin C in their parameters. With the new CMOS sensor, the device effortlessly distinguishes abnormal colors between RBCs and hemoglobin. So your fully automated urine chem analyzer has control. So running daily QC is critical. It is used to validate instrument performance and to ensure accurate patient diagnosis. Who among you are still doing the manual plotting of your QC graph? With automation, you already have the QC graph. If you have equipment, there should be a regular maintenance. The main purpose of regular maintenance is to ensure that all equipment is operating at 100% efficiency at all times. Daily maintenance helps to keep systems in good operating condition and prevent large-scale equipment failure. Specifically, routine maintenance refers to simple maintenance tasks that don't require specified equipment or in-depth skill. Consequently, this term refers to tasks that can be done by staff outside of the maintenance department. The urine reagents are for the qualitative and semi-quantitative detection of one or more analytes in the urine. With this type of analyzer, you can load multiple sets of test strips at a time. There are platforms with 100 to 400 test strips per bottle. Using the automated chem analyzer, first the sample is screened using the automated test strips testing. Then the aspiration of the sample. Each test strip is scanned with a color CMOS sensor and photometry is performed. Automatically detect the position of the test strip pads. By improving the light path, cloudiness and specific gravity became less affected by turbidity. Recognizes wrong strip and abnormal color for maximum safety. Due to full automation of urine chem, dispensing of sample is standardized while eliminating the possibility of any carryover from the strip. So we have here an example of a patient result with the complete test strip parameters with the color and turbidity. Next, we discuss the fully automated urine sediment analyzer, the screening analyzer for UTI infection. What are the detected particles? Red blood cell, white blood cells, squamous epithelial cells, non-squamous epithelial cells, hyaline cast, unclassified cast or pathologic cast, the mucus, bacteria, yeast, white blood cell clumps, sperm, crystals like calcium oxalate, triple phosphate, uric acid, and amorphous materials. There are platforms wherein crystals are identified, and there are machines that gives a color images of your sediment particles. With the automated sediment analyzer, it uses fluorescent polymethylene that distinctively stains the nucleic acid. The fluorescence flow cytometry is used to analyze the physiological and the chemical properties of cell. It can also be used to analyze other biological particles in urinalysis analyzers. It provides information about cell size and structure, information about a cell's interior. In flow cytometry, we examine cells and particles while they are flowing through a very narrow flow cell. First, the sample is aspirated and proportioned, then diluted to a preset ratio and labeled with the proprietary fluorescence marker that binds specifically to nucleic acid. Next, the sample is transported into the flow cell. The sample is illuminated by a semiconductor laser beam which can separate the cells using three different signals. First is the forward scattered light. Second, the side scattered light. And third, the side fluorescent light. The intensity of the forward scatter indicates the cell volume. The side scattered light provides information about the internal cell structure and its content, such as nucleus and granules. The side fluorescence indicates the amount of nucleic acid present in the cell. In urinalysis analyzer, fluorescence technology is also used for counting bacteria, red blood cells, white blood cells, and other elements. The additional fourth signal is the depolarized side scatter light. In the fluorescence flow cytometer principle, it is capable of analyzing the birefringence of particles. With your fully automated analyzer, the crystals is distinguished from RBC based on the difference of the strength of the reflection or the birefringence on the surface and inside the particles. It also differentiates various epithelial cells like squamous, renal, non-squamous, and transitionals. It can do quantitative bacterial count. The fully automated sediment analyzer will give the following information: UTI, RBC differentiation, if isomorphic or dysmorphic, and the bacterial gram staining classification. The size of the nucleic acid containing components like white blood cells, epithelial cells, yeast-like cells, spermatozoa, and bacteria are measured by flow cytometry, and the amount of nucleic acid content is also determined. According to the Journal of Nephrology and Therapeutics, automated urine sediment can predict urinary tract infection and can estimate the causative bacterial class. The automated urine sediment analyzer is a screening analyzer for UTI infection that is 95% sensitive, 82% specific, 43.6% of unnecessary urine cultures can be avoided, and only 2.4% false negative. The optimum cutoff level for UTI detection, WBC, is 27 per microliter. Bacteria is 55 per microliter. Cells with similar physical and chemical properties form a cluster in a graph known as a scattergram. In particular, it carries out an advanced quantitative assay of bacteria through an independent channel for bacteria by specifically staining the nucleic acids of bacteria with a fluorescent polymethylene dye and can provide graphic displays on the bacteria scattergrams. In the present study, we had an opportunity to examine the possibility of estimating whether the UTI-causing bacterium is a gram-positive coccus or a gram-negative bacillus. From the angle of the dot distribution pattern with the x-axis of the scattergram produced by the bacteria channel. It also demonstrates good sensitivity and specificity for gram-negative bacilli and demonstrated an improved sensitivity for detecting gram-positive cocci. According to this study, there were 4 samples noted with bacterial distribution below the 30-degree angle that showed staphylococci growth, including 1 case of Staph aureus growth, while the other 2 samples with bacterial distribution above the 30-degree angle showed growth of E. coli and a co-infection of 2 gram-negative ESBL-producing organisms, or the extended spectrum B lactamase. It has inventory module, so you can check if the volume of your reagent is at critical level. You have instruction to run your QC materials. It has Levi-Jennings QC graph. It has maintenance checklist also. And this is an example of your sediment report. You have the following: RBC, WBC, epithelial cells, cast, either hyaline cast or pathologic cast. You have bacteria, crystals, YLC, sperm, and mucus. You have also a side comment and other information like if the patient has UTI. Next, we will be discussing the fully automated urine particle digital imaging device, the concept of which is it's a retest reflex system for the automated sediment analyzer for verification purposes. Microscopic analysis is completed without creating unnecessary slides and using microscope. Particles in the image are classified by size. The images provide a detailed view of the urine particles without performing a manual sediment or microscopy, so the entire workflow can be processed automatically. With its stage scanning technology, you confirm abnormal results from previous chemical and sediment analysis in a fully automated device. Using this type of analyzer, after processing your urine sample, if the result is negative, you report it immediately. And if positive, you have the digital imaging device to verify your sediments analysis. With your digital imaging device, microscopic analysis is completed without creating unnecessary slides and using microscope, making efficient of complicated microscope analysis. The third concept is the particles in the image are automatically classified by size. It has CCD or charge coupled device camera with 2 million pixels and objective lens with a magnification of 15. So classification is based on the size of your main particle. So for example, class 1, the size is 2 to 6 micrometer and your main particle is your bacteria. Class 2 can be your RBC crystal fungus. Class 3 are WBC crystal fungus. Class 4 are small round epithelial cells. Class 5 are squamous cells. Class 6, cast and squamous cells. Class 7 and 8 can be cast and epithelial cell mass. A high-performance digital camera captures microscope quality images, and the particles are grouped by size and presented to the operator for classification. Offers digital reviews for identifying pathological elements flagged at the analyzer. An overview of your digital image results. Your QC graph. It has maintenance checklist also. Then the next slides are example of particles in the digital imaging device, like the bacteria, an example of your fungi, squamous epithelial cells, urothelial cells or transitional epithelial cells, the renal tubular cells, the non-glomerular RBC, glomerular RBCs or the dysmorphic RBCs, the white blood cells, example of cast, more pictures of cast. And to round off the offering, you have also the information management system that takes care of the sample data. The information management system is error information free, reagent information is available, and your analysis result. So you have here 3 results in one information data: the chemical, the flow cytometry result, and your image result. So over the past 2 decades, the automated urinalysis has undergone remarkable technical progress. From the conventional test flow to the new test flow with automation. Both microscopy and flow cytometric-based instruments generate reliable results that are clinically useful, and automated test strip reading provides added value. Additional integration of existing technologies may further reduce turnaround times. So several automated instruments are currently available to standardize the process of doing urinalysis. So we should consider redundant data entry, also called double entry. Redundant data entry involves 2 separate people entering the data with data only flowing forward if the two independent entries match. Each system uses a different technology to classify and quantify urine sediment particles and offers an improvement in standardization over manual microscopy by eliminating potential intertechnician variability during the slide interpretation. The quality of your result may also improve since samples can be processed more efficiently and therefore closer to their collection time, decreasing the likelihood of cell lysis, microbial contamination, or precipitation from prolonged storage. Labs utilizing automated urinalysis note that producing digital reports is less time-consuming and less prone to clerical errors. Clinicians also often appreciate the quantitative report and the precise cut-offs established by the lab for their patient population when making treatment decisions, as opposed to the qualitative or semi-quantitative 0, +1, or +2 system often used for dipsticks and manual microscopy. Here is a summary of advantages and disadvantages of 3 automated urine sediment analyzers. So advantages of your first analyzer, it improves bacteria counting and plugs for UTI. It uses uncentrifuge samples, manual operation for urgent testing. With second analyzer, it also uses uncentrifuge samples. It has accurately quantifies the bacteria. Results may be viewed from archived digital images. On your third analyzer, there are no reagents required. Results may be viewed from archived digital images, and minimal retraining required to interpret the images which are similar to manual microscopy. So what are the disadvantages of these 3 analyzers? One is it is clinically significant pathologic cast not differentiated from the benign cast. Plug results require manual microscopy, around 40 to 70% of the samples, depending on the lab practice. Third analyzer, a considerable technician training for viewing digital images that are different from manual microscopy. Second, mistakes crystals for RBC. So napagkakamalan yung mga crystals na RBC or RBC to crystals. So it lacks sufficient resolution to classify all the dysmorphic RBC variants, prompting manual microscopy. On your third analyzer, ultracentrifugation of sample may cause particle loss. Mistakes yeast for RBC, mistakes epithelial cells for WBC, and it is not FDA approved. So implement the workflow that is just right for your urinalysis work area. So I would like to express my very great appreciation for their valuable and constructive suggestions during the preparation of this presentation. Their willingness to give their time so generously has been very much appreciated. Thank you for listening.